risk hedging supply chains. So it's about a semiconductor manufacturing organization, Intel. So Intel has capital intensive labs, long lead times. एक चिप को R&D करते हैं, बनाते हैं. So it's not a very easy process. Critical inputs like semiconductor wafers, specialty gases. Then there could be global disruptions जो आजकल भी दिख रही हैं, जियोपॉलिटिक्स, कैपेसिटी क्रंच. चाइना ने सारा अपना होल्ड करके रख लिया है, रेयर अर्थ मेटल्स एंड सो ऑन एंड सो फोर्थ. So those disruptions are always there. So in this kind of an industry, typically demand characteristics, chip कहाँ बिकेगा? Basically to laptop manufacturers, to typically in B2B environment, right? So B2B contracts हैं, and therefore demand is more or less predictable क्योंकि एक कमिटमेंट होती है. अगर HP कुछ इनको ऑर्डर दे रहा है, so they would be giving it for next 1 year, some kind of an assurance, or 6 months. So these are typically B2B contracts. The product life cycle is not very short, so it's moderate to long kind of product life cycle, and volume per SKU is pretty high. So that is on the demand side. Supply side is they have a complex manufacturing, very few or concentrated supplier base, lead times are long, and there is a huge risk of disruption. So these are some of the constraints on the supply side. So demand इसमें demand uncertainty नहीं है, but supply side uncertainty है. Manufacturing is complex. Their own supplier base is very concentrated. Lead times are long. Disruption risk is high. So their supply chain strategy is redundancy through buffers. They need to keep high level of inventory levels, right? So they need to build in redundancy into their systems, and they need to have high inventories by keeping buffer stocks. So some of the key supply chain practices, they always try to focus on multi-sourcing for key materials, inventory buffers, capacity reservations. Capacity को रिजर्व करा लिया कि इतना मेरा. Long term contracts with their suppliers, and geographic diversification of suppliers कि एक geography पे dependent ना हो, सिर्फ चाइना पे dependent ना हो, हम multiple countries में अपने suppliers को रखेंगे. And outcomes, their line stoppages are low, continuity during shortages. Shortage we have external environment में, still they can continue to produce because उनके पास buffer stock काफी high है. And working capital, they know, is going to be high. It's an acceptable trade-off to continue the business, right? So they have a very different approach, where demand is more or less certain. कितने laptops बनने हैं, HP, Lenovo's of the world will give them clear visibility, or more or less accurate visibility, but supply side is pretty uncertain. So यहाँ पे risk hedging.